Today we'll be writing and solving one-step addition and subtraction inequalities. Okay, so the maximum volume of a water bottle can hold is 1.2 liters. It currently holds 9.9 liters. Determine how much more water can go in the bottle then interpret the solution. Okay, so the maximum amount is going to be 1.2. So that means the amount in the water bottle is going to be less than or equal to 1.2. Okay, maximum, that word maximum means it can hit that amount but not go above it. Okay, so that means it's an or equals to. All right, then we have the total amount, so it's going to be some number plus the amount that's already in the water bottle will equal the total amount that can fit. Okay. So some number plus 0.9 will be needs to be less than or equal to 1.2 liters. Okay. So this is our inequality based on this situation. Okay, if we're figuring out how much more, again, that's going to be an addition. All right, so we're going to subtract 0.9 from both sides in order to solve it. Okay, and then that means x is going to be less than or equal to 0.3 liters. Okay, so that means it can hold up to 0.3 more liters of water. Okay, let's take a look at another one that's similar. A football team must move the football at least 10 yards to earn a first down. Okay, so at least, so the smallest amount it can earn is 10. That means the amount that they earn must be greater than or equal to 10 yards in order to get a first down. Okay, the team is 4.5 yards in the opposite direction of where it needs to go. Determine how many more yards the team must move the ball to get a first down. Okay, now this problem takes a little bit of understanding about the game of football, but where it says the team is 4.5 yards in the opposite direction, that means they have to earn the 10 yards. So they're at negative 4.5 yards of where they need to be. So plus what number is going to give you a number greater than or equal to 10 yards? Okay, so when we solve this inequality, so again, because they're in the opposite direction, that indicates a negative number. Okay, so of where they need to go. So they're at negative 4.5, and then we have to get some number of yards in order to gain at least 10 or more. Okay, so we're going to do the inverse operation here. So we are going to add 4.5 to both sides. All right, and that is going to give me x is greater than or equal to 14.5. Okay, so if you move 4.5 yards in the opposite directions, that means you have to gain the 4.5 and the additional 10 in order to gain your first down. Okay, so here is our solution there. Okay, let's try another one. A factory produces parts for automobiles to fill its quota. At least, okay, that means the smallest amount is 95 parts must be produced. Okay, you can produce more than that, but at least 95. So the amount you have to produce is greater than or equal to 95 parts. Okay, so far 37 have been produced. Okay, so 37 plus some number is going to be greater than or equal to that 95. Okay, so we're going to subtract 37 from both sides. Okay, inverse operations. And 95 minus 37 is x is greater than or equal to 58 parts. So they need 58 more parts. Okay, 58 more parts. Okay, there are several more like this that you can try on your own here. We're going to take a look at one more type of problem here. It says the difference in mass between two frisbees is at least 20 grams. Okay, so the difference is at least 20 grams. So again, the smallest amount is 20 grams. So that means the difference is going to be greater than 20 grams. It says the smaller frisbee has a mass of 155. Determine the possible mass of the larger frisbee. So x minus 155 needs to be greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so the larger frisbee minus the smaller frisbee has to be bigger than 20 grams. Okay, so in this case, we are going to add the 155, doing our inverse operations, and that means x is greater than or equal to 175 grams. The difference in area between two fields is at most 8 acres. The smaller field has an area of 5.4 acres. Determine the possible area of the larger field, then interpret the solution. So the difference between the two fields, okay, so one field minus the other field is going to be less than or equal to 8 because at most it can be 8, which means it can be less than, but it can't go over 8. All right, so the larger one minus the smaller one is going to be less than or equal to 8. So we're going to subtract 5.4 from both sides here. We have x is less than or equal to 13.4, which means the larger field can be a maximum of it can be less than or equal to 13.4 acres. Okay. All right, there's two more that you can try there as well.